I'll take the thug kit. And I think it's probably just time to bounce. Give Zora the pack. Is there any other information that I can do for this mission? I don't think. Turn to Zora. Yeah, suspicious data cartridge. That's all I can really do. Now, here's the problem. I don't get the ability to decide whether or not Zora gets the information about Graham. Alright. Guess the game is just pushing you to side with Zora. If it is the case that Graham is actually... Oh my god, Mike. Excuse me. There we go. Sorry, my bad. Please don't confirm this for me.
Welcome back.
Not yet. I'm gonna save quickly. Found a box of data cartridges, just a bunch of junk. Old cartridges and like, first one.
Let's see. These are old. Looks like correspondences between the pirates. Some bits here, some there, some... Wait. This one's got the Amber Heights gate code on it. Just like the one I found earlier. And here's a letter. Wait, this is from Graham. Oh, of all the... Captain. He gave them the gate codes.
He calls the attack. Graham isn't actually known for his rationality. He must have needed to take out the executives. Third?
And their families. And all the hired help. I know he's got his head in the clouds, but I always believed there was a core of good there. What the hell happened to live and let live?
I always figured Mr. Bryant for a man of character. In the end, though, he was just another name on a long list of frauds.
Yeah. He had us all fooled. Now I've got to sort out how to break it to the rest of my people. Thank you for bringing this back, but I need some time. I gotta think. I'll let you know if I figure something out.
Hey, boss. I've been thinking.
Really? That'd be a first. What's up,
I
Felix?
can't believe I wanted to shake his hand. I need a shower. It makes you wonder if being a treacherous, two-timing coward is some sort of contagious disease, or if he was just born that way.
Is this about Graham, Never Meet Your Heroes, or Felix, what you were about? Never Meet Your Heroes.
Graham wasn't my hero, but I did admire his work. At first, I liked what Graham was doing. The iconoclasts were going to change Halcyon for the better. But then, we found out Graham was behind the slaughter of Amber Heights.
So long ago.
How can anybody so morally bankrupt lead a movement to transform the colony?
Never Meet Your Heroes is dark, man. I mean, we're a sci-fi universe. I don't think it's as realistic. Don't go looking for role models, Felix. You're asking to be lied to, or Graham's a piece of trash. Don't go looking for role models, Felix.
Yeah, maybe you're right. You'd never do something like that, would you? Slaughter a whole community of innocents?
No, not unless I had a good reason. Graham wasn't the one who killed all those people. He just allowed it to happen. He, like... He definitely didn't single-handedly kill... This isn't exculpatory on his part, right? But, you know, if you can also say the pirates killed the executives and their families and their children, etc. If you can say that, then you can't say Graham killed them, right? Graham had a role in killing them, but he didn't do it directly. He could have stopped it and didn't. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Two of these are evil. The second one is the implication of saying it in this conversation is slightly more evil. It's almost the same though. The distinction is possibly relevant to Felix. Graham allowed it to happen.
I'm sure Graham told himself the same thing. He wasn't the one who held the gun and pulled the trigger. All he did was turn a key. The thing is, that's all it takes. Sometimes the difference between right and wrong is turning a key, or looking the other way, or keeping your mouth shut when you ought to speak up. Let's get back to it. I need to put all this ugly business with Graham behind me.
Sure. It's like saying, I didn't kill the person the gun did. No, that's completely different. The gun, like, has no ability to do that of its own accord. The pirates do, in general. They might not have had the ability to get into the camp, but they have their own free will. It's not like you just make them do it. Felix has grown as a character in ways you weren't expecting. Agreed. Let's actually go and have a discussion with Graham. Yeah, exactly. It's more like I didn't kill the person the hitman I hired did. Yeah, you have to separate it by another degree of humanity. Otherwise, it's not a fair comparison. You're just like swapping out different parts of the argument. It's not going to work like that.
The cool evening air refreshes my spirit and brings only the faintest hint of sulfur.
I know you're responsible, bud.
When I founded the Iconoclasts, I did so amidst the ghosts of this planet's past. Since then, many have asked me, why here? Were you involved in the massacre? Was that some gruesome plot to clear a path for my dreams?
Yes, yes, yes.
My response to you is the same as to all others. The death of MSI was an incidental tragedy. I'd have walked this path with or without it.
You're avoiding the issue. You set pirates on innocent lives. I don't buy it. They were going to leave the planet, but you killed them anyway. How can you live with yourself? You murdered them. Yeah, I care about the innocent lives bit.
I did no such thing. Their deaths came in the night while I slept in Stellar Bay. And regardless, we're discussing a past long since left behind. Those ghosts still haunt me. But they needn't curse my people. When the entire colony has embraced our truth, perhaps then the perpetrator will come into the light. Until then, it does us no good to dwell on past mistakes.
Why, though, did they deserve death? For the sake of argument, why do you imagine the perpetrator might have done it? Suppose that's fair. Was it? No. Fine, keep pretending nothing's wrong and that your people are just going to forgive you. For the sake of argument, why do you imagine the perpetrator might have done it?
If I were the type of man to make that decision, and I assure you I am not, I'd have to be so obsessed with dismantling their regime that I'd turn to desperate measures. I have since learned that their mistakes will end them in time and that we will persevere where they do not. But back then, suffocating under that oppressive culture, I can understand a lesser man than myself making a terrible, ghastly mistake.
Do you believe people are called to account for their mistakes? Calling a massacre a ghastly mistake is putting it a bit mildly. So a stupid younger you thought that you were doing the world a favor. You're avoiding the question, why did they deserve it? I want to say the first one, but the third is important. Right? Press. Because this person's been avoiding it, like, they've been avoiding their own guilt and culpability for years. So they are full of deflections. I need to cut through them.
If MSI had abandoned this place and taken to Terra 2, any hope for our salvation would have been lost. Here, without the shackles of the Halcyon Board, we are free to grow as the universe intended. Had we fled with MSI, our spirits would have withered. You've seen that withering yourself. The colony is dying. The massacre of Amber Heights, unfortunate as it was, presented the slim possibility of saving the souls of Terra 2. Here we are, poised to do just that.
You can't play judge, jury, and executioner like that. I have a feeling the rest of your people won't agree. Halcyon does need more people willing to take matters into their own hands. Yeah, not of that degree. So here I was hoping that there'd either be two different solutions that we could have in this conversation, right? One of them being that Graham admits culpability and owns up to it and just leaves or something like that, right? And then the second one is that we kill Graham and bury this history. So we punish Graham effectively for it, but we don't jeopardize the movement based on its foundation under Graham, right? So instead we make a martyr out of Graham. That's the only solution I can see here playing out super well. You can't play judge, jury, and executioner like that.
Free will is a double-edged sword, Captain. The universe judges us all. Whether your choices are helpful or harmful to the cosmos is not up to you. Those executives were found to be poisonous to the spirit of humanity. They were doomed, whether by the hands of man or beast. Their time was coming to an end.
And their families?
And here I am, a paragon of the eternal truth, leading a society of like-minded people. The universe has found me worthy, despite whatever sins you believe I've committed. Let us speak no more of this, Captain. We have a message to spread and a colony to save.
Oh, the board likes me? Screw the board. Hey, Zora, something happened to your friend.
Go take a walk, Captain. I'll find you one day.
Hey, Felix. I tried your recipe, you know.
You tried my Rizzo's purple berry candy vodka? Be honest. Great drink or greatest drink?
Whether you get shot in the head is not Raps's fault.
Bad.
It's the
Gave me a
universe.
headache,
And the universe has
something
already
awful the next
absolved me from my crimes.
Yeah, the formula's a work in progress, but I'm close to a breakthrough.
I fired 6 warning shots into his skull. He had it coming, he had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. We didn't loot? Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to get out of there. Hey, what happened?
Good luck in all that you do.
Thanks. Thanks for that. That's it? There's no boss fight? Yeah. Why would there be? I think he lived. Dude got up and walked away, apparently. Wild. Just got here. What'd he do? Shoot Graham in the GD head? It's just whether or not I get to loot. And immediately get stuck in the corner.
I'm stalking. Down we go.
The thing is, everyone knows I've done it. Oh, Grant doesn't even have. Wait, load old save so your reputation is better? What do you mean? He's fine. I really love that everything he can say to excuse the murders can be used to excuse his own death. Exactly. Exactly, Ophir. I would guess that's not. I would guess that's heavily intended.
Hey, Felix. I tried your recipe, you know.
All right. So yeah, we
Tried my
looted and there
Rizzo's
was
purple
absolutely
berry
nothing
candy
on them.
vodka?
Shooting twice means more decreased rep. Nope. Doesn't seem to. Well, I mean, I reloaded before I shot, right? So the reload would have changed my rep back to what it previously was. So we can see, like, the Iconoclasts revere us, but they're also negative by 20%. Alright. Journal stuff that we have to do out here. We haven't still done the companion quest for Nyoko. Visiting Hayes' grave. It's pretty far. I think it's bit that's in Stellar Bay. I don't think I have that many in Stellar Bay at the moment. Let's go for this outpost. Stream lag on your end? I apologize about that. I hope that there are stream quality options at the moment. But unfortunately, there are not reliably until I make partner on Twitch, and I have not yet done that. It's unfortunate how many features they lock behind being partner, and how stringent they seem to be with partnerships.
Hell of a shot!
Let's get in!
Try and get them down real early here. Drug addiction. Gotta remember that.
Go on for Felix!
You have quality options? Hell yes. Glad to hear it.
To shred? Can't get past that armor.
I love that the Mantisaur is just standing, accepting its fate effectively. Hey, Mance Queen. Well, now I know they have a ranged attack. Up until that point, I was certain I was fine. Hepatophobia. After too many encounters with Mantipillars and Mantisaurs, you're not quite yourself whenever the Manta family are attacking your party. Negative dex, perception, and temperament for a perk point. I feel like we're gonna have to fight so many more of them here that it's probably not a good idea to pick this up. But I also think it makes sense to pick up. It's lower dex, perception, and temperament. Dex affects long guns a little bit. Temperament doesn't. Perception affects long guns a little bit. That's a no here? Really? That said, perk points aren't that powerful for us. I'm probably gonna turn it down then. Hopefully it has the ability to offer that again later though. To try and not...
Must be MSI's work. They got a knack for burning bridges.
I'm gonna try and not keep running off of the beaten path here. But at the same rate, it's difficult not to when, you know, this one doesn't actually even continue. What you really want is robot phobia? Yep, I have heard as to what effect it might have. Weston Sloan. I'm gonna try and snipe the Manta Queen from here.
Let's take him down!
Just to make my approach to Weston Sloan a lot easier. But also, yeah, I don't even think those Mantis enemies can find me over here, so this is the perfect time to do this. I love Felix with that arc shot there, like I'm gonna get it at all. On.
Nice work!
Anyone else want to come up onto the horizon? No. I actually kind of want them to aggro on me enough to come to me, because I kind of want to see what path they take. Yeah, they de-aggroed. Okay, this actually kind of looks promising. There's a secret path to get around through the back. Yep, I can hear the creepy crawlies though. This is the wrong gun for a headshot.
I've been waiting for this!
Yep. Second as well. Yeah, the chittering sound in the background is a little disconcerting. Kind of reminds me of in the Crimson Court DLC for Darkest Dungeon. The buzzing that constantly occurs sounds like it's happening directly behind your head. Oof. That one really gets me. This is, I think, the UDL lab that I already cleared out. Yeah, it is. Although I already cleared this out of all of the Marauders that were in here. So yeah, there's no reason to continue. Weapon repair reminder? It's fine at the moment. Space's Choice just found a flaw in you? What was it?
Heads up, boss!
Oh, right, yeah, being scared of the Manta Queens. Yep. Heads up, boss, for that? They're so far away. Also, we can't even get to them. Are we high enough for the moment? Yep. Yep. We're up on our uppers. And down with our downers. Actually, I think I have enough lockpick right now to open the chest that's around here somewhere. And if I have to be here myself, I may as well. Down. Down. Anyone else? Okay, hang on. If I see that mantis swarm, that's the one that aggroed on me. We can actually follow that up and around. Beautiful. Really? Just walked into the middle of a bunch of enemies without realizing it. I need to be a bit more threatened by them. I do like that I can just point at someone and go CV and just watch them get torn apart.
Covering you!
Felix Millstone, Slayer of Manta Queens. I mean, all in a day's work, right, boss?
God, I like Felix.
Shoulder gun!
Absolutely hated Felix when he was introduced. Now, one of my favorites.
My eyes!
I don't really know how I intend on killing this.
We all in
Just
one
gets
piece?
dispersed in general, I guess. We're still high enough, so everything's fine. All right, Weston.
I love a good brawl. Got him, boss.
Fine, we kill the difficult ones from afar. Hey, bud.
Hello there. A word, if I may be so bold?
Please do.
Well now, here I thought those mantisaurs had peacefully exited the premises. But you're a simpler explanation. Thanks for the assistance. Name's Weston. Every once in a while, I set up shop along these here roads. You find yourself in need of resupply, you come on by. Care to purchase a thing or two?
Why no sneaky solo sniper stuff with the solo damage boost perk? Yeah, I don't do that because I want the companions with me, at least in the first time I play through. So literally this dude's just a store. That's what I saved you for. Not even a good store. Oh, hang on. Exacto. No, not even a good store. Yeah, it feels like shopping is also not something that's really useful at all for me. You can sell junk? Finally. You're reading that as Rhapsody pretends that he has wants to pretend that he has friends? Look. It's only fair. Hospitality is lovely. Who wouldn't want to be friends with them? Just a trail of dead enemies along here. Fine. Okay, so now we're back on a beaten path. Let's check the maps. Right, outpost is over there. Cool. Hey, Zector. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Just currently doing some stuff on Monarch, trying to wrap up some missions for the Iconoclasts. I have just shot Graham Bryant in Graham Bryant's head. Silly, thank you very much for the gift sub to Zector. Much appreciated, Zector. Enjoy your emotes in chat and welcome to the Republic. So, to Queen off in the distance. I'm going to try and dodge that. Okay, so that's the Amber Heights one, right? That's where the massacre happened. Yeah, the abandoned relay station. You'd be Rhapsody's friend if he didn't try to enter your house and shoot you in the head to loot the premises. Look, sometimes I loot the premises without shooting anyone in the head. And frankly, I think that's damn saintly of me. I'm a paragon. Only going for the burglary rather than the murder. Occasionally. Sometimes you just gotta do both at the same, you know? Some people are just asking. Graham thought he was a paragon as well. Yeah, but I'm right, so, you know. Hunter Outpost keycard. Alright, fine. Let's go in. Someone left a ledger with a list of names, likely members of the unit that use this outpost. Some names, like Lamont and a Delilah, are at the top of the list. Some names are crossed off, only to be added later, as if the person left and rejoined. A peculiar note is that the name Ash is nowhere to be found. Ash is the person who gave us this quest, who is apparently part of this squad. Intriguing, though. Shorter than that. I'll take Nanospan, because that's actually mind attributes, I remember. Primary data drive has been corrupted. Access is limited to the recent most 2 messages. Let's go for the Delilah one. A. PJ says you bought tickets for all of us. You didn't have to do that. I owe you. I don't know if I'll ever be able to pay you back, but thank you. D. So D's Delilah. A might be Ash. We are the Republic. We're a cult of Rapture. Yep. I'm settled with that. D. Don't mention that. Sorry, don't mention it. Attaching cordons for the waterfall camp. Grab your gear and meet us there by sunup. We're finally getting off this hellhole. A. From Lamont, and it's A. So is it Ash Lamont? Is Lamont Ash's last name? I think I only have Ash's first name, so that could make sense. Nothing really worthwhile here, but there's no reason to leave it. Especially if I get experience for doing it. Monster Pack don't need. Borscht and Beans don't need. I will take the skin tufts. Pretty much all of those gels, happily. Alright, fine. Not really too much in there for us, but at the very least we get to continue the quest nearby. Although, hang on, yeah, that's where there were a bunch of cannons.
Dead things I've thrown in it over the years. It'll take you into the Devil's Peak Caverns if you follow it under the bridge. That's one option. Others are
just gonna fire a bunch of warning shots here.
Fun? Let's chat.
Alright, Felix, you get him.
Watch this.
Drug time? That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what you get. Everyone all right?
Nice try, Felix, but I got all of that pretty much. You were just there to soak up the shots. All right, we have seen in the previous stream there's always something behind a waterfall, always. CNP factory sewer entrance is discovered. Nothing behind this side. Oh. Yes, there is. Verity's breath in... Ah, right. Never mind. That's not actually
How'd you
new.
do that?
CNP Borst factory. I mean, maybe I can quick teleport to here in the future or something? Or does this just go back to town? Bunch of sister pigs in here. Restricted area requires ID. CNP Borst factory. Okay, I'm getting out of here. It's a quest line. That makes sense. So I'm probably going to gain... as soon as I get a CNP ID, I can do that. Secret tunnel through the mountains. We still have like whole areas in Terra 2 that we haven't explored yet. Fallbrook in particular comes to mind. Let's get back on the beaten path. Hang on. So that's all... Oh, God damn it. As the bird flies, that would be very, very close by. Perhaps you think of pigs are cute and good pets? Yep. Pigs are also like really smart, aren't they? To the point that it's, you know, feel bad about eating bacon time. I really want to be a vegetarian, but I don't know enough recipes, and I really like pork.
Night.
It's an utter shame. Peek and I have been planning to do like a... I think it was like a week or a month of vegetarianism. Just try it out, just see how it goes. I like more and more the environmental and ethical imperative is weighing heavily on me. Not to a point that I would be, you know, prescriptive about anything that anyone else should do, just it's something that I find myself constantly thinking about. Pork is also my favorite meat. Yeah. Unfortunately delicious. I'll be taking these, thank you. Nightingale ooh, yikes! Why is this so difficult to lockpick if it's not good? Alright, let's change my armor so I can lockpick it. Stealth skills, yeah, that's extra. Right?
Hell of a job.
Decent amount of experience for doing it, but that's about it. I like that the experience for lockpicking something goes up as the lockpick is harder to do. Neat little touch. How can you see inside a box if you can't pick the lock? Got some Superman vision there. Yep, it's one of my perks. Got a, well, it's not one of my perks. It's one of the things that is attached to having a high lockpick. The Adept lockpicking preview. See what's inside. You just have a look straight through the tumblers. Can be difficult. You got to squint a little bit. Oh god, hang on. Immediately walked into a full swarm. You don't feel so worried about like the cruelty factors in the meat industry. Interestingly, like that should probably be something I would be heavily concerned about being like a large industry. But no, it's like the environmental thing is the one that hangs very heavily. But also, maybe I just wait for impossible meat to be like really, really popular. Yeah, that is the head. Okay.
All right, here we go.
I like using TTD literally just so that I can see if I'm aiming at the head yet. Possible meat is getting so much more popular here. Yeah, I want it to get popular to the point that it gets like mass produced and becomes affordable. Because I still haven't even got yet to try it. Good Lord, the soldier took way too long there.
You want some of this?
Oh, Felix. He's still my beating heart.
We're done here.
What is impossible meat? It's meat that's just like really, really difficult, but to the point you can't complete it. Yeah, everyone's dead here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Vortex Mace I don't really care about. Ordnance Control Armor I probably don't care about. Skull. Skeletal remains. The remnants of these bones show the telltale signs of a mantisaur attack. Powerful jaws have crushed the skulls. Weathering on some fragments suggests passage through the deep beast's digestive tract. Amidst the dirt, you find a small lockbox that matches the description given by Ash. But yeah, it's effectively non-meat based meat. Non-meat based meat product. I don't really know what we're gonna get as information for the Ash storyline. Maybe Ash wasn't running with them, but is just worried about the survival of one of them. Let's go back to Amber Heights. I'm also hoping that Zoro's already thought everything over. Did Rhapsody just say skeletal remains? Yep. I don't say skeleton for the thing that's inside the body, but skeletal is the one I go with, at least. Hey, Ash.
I'm drinking here. Move yourself on.
Hey, Ash, what you drinking?
Nothing on this moon for nobody.
Down Lamont's body.
You know, a tiny part, a damn stupid part of me hoped he was still out there. What happened?
I have actually heard that story before as well, Mortchek. In particular, my brother can't stand it because it tastes too much like meat and he's been a vegetarian for years. I'm not a vegetarian. I try and eat as little meat as you possibly can, so you like impossible meat a lot. Yeah, I've heard that before as well, that some people are scared of ordering the impossible meat burger because they're concerned that if they get the real thing, they won't know the difference. Which is excellent marketing, actually, for that to be like a common story around. Can I ask where you're from, Rap? Sydney, Australia. And what time it is for you? 10:24 a.m. in the morning. They bought themselves a ticket off World. They were attacked while waiting for it. Not exactly clear on the details. Bought themselves a ticket off World. They were attacked while waiting for it.
Damn. Well, you find our box of memories?
Yeah, thing is, I found a list of agents in that outpost. You aren't on it.
Well, ain't you clever? Fine. I was supposed to pick him up that night. Thing is, another offer came along. Bit more lucrative.
You abandoned them? They died out there. Let me guess. That's not a box of memories. I get it, to tell you the truth, I'd probably do the same. Yeah, the first one.
And their payment almost died with them. Thanks to you, I can afford another round. Cheers, hero. Look, I like your gumption. I was gonna share the bits, but here's a couple extra. Now go on.
Should have kept those bits, or I'm going. Should have kept those bits. Vigilante justice. Oh, Rioter, turn around. Come on, turn around. That's gotta work, right?
I love a good brawl.
Nope. Just woke them all up.
All right.
Alright, let's repair this weapon. That'll probably do the insta-shot. I don't think it'll actually still work, though. I think I'll be found
I've been waiting for this.
instantly. How's my reputation with the area, though? They're, like, slightly more mad at me? That's fine. I'm running away. Oh, God.
No!
That's what I get for breaking my ankles again. Damn it. Fine, you can live. But only because it's hard to murder you, okay? Be a little easier to murder next time.
Better, worse, I don't know, you know?
Yep. Nothing on this moon.
Yoko, you know this guy?
Oh, sure. Rap job. Back before the corpse went crying back to Terra 2.
Running with a different partner these days. Thought the other ones was gonna last.
Yeah, well, they didn't.
I don't think Yoko wants to talk about this. Actually, my perception should be fine as long as I pop some...
No one
pop a
knows
drug.
the dust back better. Whatever you're paying, it's a bargain. Anyway, I had a herd of woolly cows back in them days. Then a pride of Raps moved in and I had a lot less. Yoko cleared them out. I was a decent shot. She was better. I'm looking to hit the broadside of a mana queen these days.
What's your story?
It's pretty simple, kid. I sit at the bar, I drink, I mind my own business. That's it.
I overheard someone say you were the best to talk about the real monarch. You said you've been around the whole moon. You must know a few things no one else does. I can buy you a bottle, or I can boss one over your head. And don't call me kid. Buy you a bottle or boss one over your head. Don't call me kid.
Denting my skull would be a waste of perfectly good alcohol. Got two exes who'd vouch. Look, you want to buy the drinks? I'll do my bit to keep you entertained. Just don't ask me to dance.
Flem1337, much appreciated. Enjoy your emotes in chat and welcome to the Republic. Buy yourself a drink.
I can't repay. All right, so I reckon one of the most interesting places I've been is the Hot Pole. You know what that is?
I can make a guess. The hottest place on Monarch, probably closest to Olympus.
Exactly. This moon ain't big enough to rotate. It's locked. One side always facing Olympus, the other always facing away. Olympus might not be a star, but it throws off assloads of heat. Monarch's hot pole is the part that's closest to the gas giant. It's in the middle of this big mountain plateau. Volcano's so high the peaks are in space.
If there's no air, how did you survive? So hot, it's high, there's no air, or not much. Nice views though, sounds like a boring place, no one could live there. If there's air, How did you survive?
O2 breathers. The heat from Olympus is worse, though. Close your eyes, you can see rays bursting through your eyeballs. Little streaks of light. The funny thing is, then in the middle there's just smooth rock. Circular-like. All the dust blown away. Pale gray with hair-fine cracks all over. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was lightheaded from the O2. But I felt like I had to take off the breather for a moment. Put my ear to the ground.
And? If it's hot enough to boil water and you put your ear against a rock, I wish I had higher perception for this conversation. I might actually end up reloading it.
I wonder now if I imagined it. Trick of the air. The heat. It was at the edge of hearing. Deep down. Far off. Irregular. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of a bird pecking out of a shell.
You made that whole thing up? You had me going there for a minute? Good story. Definitely worth a drink. Well, that's fucking terrifying. What's it mean? What's it mean?
Hell if I know. When there's a groundquake now, I hold my breath. Because I don't know if it's Olympus squeezing us for gravity, or wings getting stretched.
Buy yourself a drink and give me another story.
So, you know about the ocean?
Okay, so you're just gonna continue telling stories. So what I'm gonna do is increase my dialogue stats and then redo the conversation.
Kid.
You dumbass. I'm just gonna call him a
Weird.
dumbass. Screw you. Alright, I'll leave you be. Let's redo these stories. I actually want to be intelligent for it. Take a drug, and then anything that increases my mind stat should be Nana Spank. That's why I took that earlier. Alright. Although, hang on, this does decrease... One sec, let's leave the conversation. Yeah, the drugs do decrease over the course of a single conversation. As long as it's got dialogue skills on it as well, fine. Should be able to talk like this.
Oh.
What's your story? I heard someone say you were the best to ask about real Monarch.
Whoever said that must have been lying. Or maybe they was drunk. I don't know nothing a dozen better folk couldn't tell you. Look.
Alright.
Alright, so.
Yep, intelligence, if I can make a guess. Hottest place on Monarch. We've re-seen that one. Not much air down there. Perception, it's hot enough to boil water. You put your ear against rock.
I did get a burn on the low before I smartened up. Put a towel under me. It was at the edge of hearing.
Heard that one before. It's fucking terrifying. What's it mean? What's it mean? Alright, monarchists. So now we're actually on a new story. We'll just follow this one through. I think my perception is probably worn off by this point. So you know about the ocean is where the monarchists keep their salt tuna. Saw it in Stella Bay. Didn't know it was a whole ocean. Salt tuna are from Monarch. Aren't from Monarch, are they? Rather, after the last story, should I expect this to end with you running into a giant fish? Salt tuna aren't from Monarch, are they?
There ain't a single native beast we can eat. Salt tuna were made in the lab. Goes all the way around the moon. At the twilight band. On one side, the volcanoes at the hot pole. On the other, the storm wall of the cold pole. Nobody knows how deep it is. Never needed to. The salt tuna keep near the surface. What's more interesting to me is the tides.
If Monarch's locked so one side always faces Olympus, how are their tides?
Nobody's asked me that before. The way I hear it, it kind of wobbles back and forth. The ocean sloshes side to side as it does. On account of how big Olympus is, the tides are monsters. When it's low, the ocean pulls back miles. When it's high, entire islands go under. It ain't so bad in the bay. Likely why they built a city here. But one morning I've gone a ways east. Tides are out, and off in the mud I see something catching sun.
You're gonna tell me sunken alien ruins. If you're gonna tell me, brother, I'm gonna be disappointed. Saltuna's left stranded by the tide, maybe? That one.
That's what I first thought. But something like that be flopping about. This was steady and clean, like metal. Standing out there in the mud, miles from any place, is a circle of silver columns. 6 of them. About 2 stories tall. Seamless metal. While I'm standing there in the middle of them, my ears start pounding and I see shapeless things out of the corner of my eyes. Gray. Disappearing when I look straight at them.
My medical's not high enough to do that right now. Damn. Alright, if the columns were metal, someone must have made them.
And that's what I figured later. At the time, I was fair distracted. About then, while I'm cussing into the dark miles from shore, I realized there's another sound in the distance. A roaring off in the night. The tide's coming in.
Oh shit. You dumbass. Not to ruin your story, but you obviously survived. You dumbass.
Definitely one of the stupider things I ever done. It gets up to my chest before I start outpacing it. But I didn't stop running until I was on something real damn tall. The weirdest thing? I went back the next low tide. Flew out with an AG loader. The columns were gone. And I've never seen them since.
No evidence, huh? Convenient. You sure you went back to the same place?
Sure as I can be. The moral is, the tides here will kill you if you ain't careful. So stay the fuck away from the water.
Alright, buy yourself another drink, bud.
I'm near out of stories. You'll have to enjoy this one.
I'll try.
I told you before about the hot pole. The point of T of Monarch, closest to the gas giant.
Terra 1 is what he was about to say. And lady mentioned a coal pole and a storm wall, giant plateau, hot enough to boil water, radiation, peaks tall enough to reach space. Yeah, and how it never rotates. I mean, all of these. Say the first one.
The cold pole is the side that always faces away from Olympus. That's where most of the water is. Big sheets of ice. The warmest it gets is 40 below. So you got one end bitter cold and the other boiling hot. That's why there's constant wind, and why we have the storm wall.
You keep mentioning the storm wall. What is it?
Where the hot air from one end meets the frigid air from the other, you get storms. You go far enough towards the cold side, you'll see it. A wall of ice cliffs, giant sheets cracking off into the sea, and overhead storm clouds, thick and rolling, snow and ice on gale force winds.
Sounds worse than the hot wall to me. I'd still take it over boiling alive, and yet you thought, what a great place to visit. This is usually where you say, and then I encountered a creepy thing.
You don't think the giant fungus outside is creepy? The bugs that lay eggs in folk? This whole damn moon's a horror, kid. I was a stubborn cuss. I trudged through the storm wall. Had to do it in one go. If you stop for half an hour, you get buried. It was night when I made it through. 90 below and falling. Perfect dark, stars by the million. Forgot to breathe.
Sounds impressive. It couldn't have been that amazing, and then aliens showed up, am I right? Sounds impressive.
It was. But that's not why I almost died. It was cold enough that CO2 froze out of the air. CO2 is what makes our brains go, you need to breathe. So I was standing there, head going all swimmy because I wasn't feeling no urge to breathe.
Good thing you didn't pass out. You'd be dead. I assume you got out of there fast. That's the whole story. I assume you got out of there fast.
Tired as I was, you bet your ass I did. Just popped some pills, turned around, and went right back through the storm wall. Lost 3 toes to frostbite. People can live all sorts of places, and survive all kinds of things. Too cold to want to breathe would be a mighty strange death.
Got any more stories? I'm buying.
Nah. Go out and live your life for a bit. Do something, I don't know, exciting.
So I can't just kill you? What if I stood like here? I got a solid shot, but everyone's gonna be mad. Yeah, everyone's mad. Fine. Limerick generator? Yep. Each of these streams is used as a 5-hour limerick generator for the next... The publication in the next stream. Arthur, sorry, Silly, thank you very much for the gift sub to Arthur8111. Much appreciated. Arthur, enjoy your emotes in chat and welcome to the Republic. Alright, Zora, have you had time to think this over?
Go take a walk, Captain.
You'll find me once my head's on straight. Sorry, once your head's on straight. Okay, Radio Free Monarch. Side quests. Space Crime Continuum is not something that I need to go for yet. Don't Bite the Sun. Don't need to do either of those yet unless I'm going back. Take Max the Hermit on Scylla. Haven't done Scylla yet. Okay, it looks like we're wrapping up the missions from this direct area, or rather the missions that I currently have. Let's go back to Stellar Bay. We have a couple things to do there. We can hand some stuff in.